Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a tarot oracle reading, and this is for the end of the month, or the beginning of the month of July. Your time's flying by fast enough without doing that. And this is a general or collective reading. Take what works for you and leave the rest. You, Sagittarius, are the star of this astrological insight. So if you do have, if your sun sign is not Sagittarius and you do have your chart done, what house is Sagittarius in? That could give you further clarification as to where this is going now. All right. We have, for the underlying energy of the deck, we have the reconciliation. This card has been coming in like so much in the readings just in the last couple of days, and that's because we do have Mercury went retrograde yesterday, and that is when a lot of times this card does show up. This is talking about past. It's talking about the Six of Cups. It's talking about people from your past, like from when you were young. It can be talking about unresolved people from your past coming forward, that type of thing. Sometimes this can also represent reconciliation of the past. It can represent reconciliation of your childhood. If there is reconciliation, it would imply that you do need to have forgiveness. Forgiveness is actually for yourself. So if you do choose to forgive someone, then it opens your heart up to be able to remove that energy from your space and allow new energy to come in. When you forgive someone, it doesn't mean that you condone maybe their actions that they took or didn't take. And it certainly doesn't mean that you have to, reconcile with them. But sometimes this information can just be about reconciling your childhood, and quite often it is. So, when you first look at this picture, or you see two children playing in a yard, someone's watching over them, they're playing with these potted flowers. But then when you look again, you realize, wait a minute, that's a gnome, that's not a child, and this is a little woman. And so this little woman, if you look at her from the back, she's a hag, and if you look at her from the front, she's a young woman. They're both wearing this white mitt, saying they don't want to get their hands dirty. And the old hag is like, go away, we don't want your stupid flowers, they're not even yours to give away. The young woman is saying, she's being nice, she's people-pleasing, she's explaining we're dressed in our finery and we don't want to get our hands dirty, and the old hag is, let's go down, like that kind of energy. So this is saying, if someone comes into your past and they've caused you some heartache, or they haven't been on, there's a need for reconciliation. Are you going to take them back into your life? Are you going to forgive them? Or are you just going to, what are you going to do with that energy? Are you still a people pleaser? Quite often, and this is up to you, but quite often people will show you exactly who they are the first time that they show you. Believe them. And then this energy, it's also talking about these white flowers. In tarot, white flowers represent innocence, but these flowers are not innocent because they're from the nightshade family. This is Datra, and Datra from the nightshade family could make children very sick if they ingested it. Children or pets, don't ever plant this in your yard if you have children and pets around. And shamans sometimes use Datra to heal childhood wounds, actually, by creating visions in their ceremonies. But shamans have been doing that for centuries, and they know what they're doing, and it's with adults. This energy is also talking about the person that's watching over them in the background actually is walking away. It's a stranger walking down the path. But that's okay, because they're not really children anyway. And so this could be saying there's illusions about your past. There might be the way that you were told things happened when you were younger could be an illusion. You could have different illusions coming in. And as I said, with Mercury in retrograde, quite often issues from your past that are not resolved as of yet will return to give you a second chance, or third or fourth, as the case may be, to resolve them. And, sometimes it works, that's up to you. We have the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords, this is a walking contradiction. This person has two swords planted and he has five in his arms here. And he's sneaking around here. He's got these bright red hat and bright red boots on. And he's sneaking around in broad daylight. So if he's a thief, he's not a thief in the night. He's a thief in broad daylight. And because the swords do represent the element of air, and this is representing thoughts, the swords themselves are representing your mental intelligence and discipline of your mind. This could represent someone who is sneaking away with intellectual material or patents or something like that. Or he might be sitting at his desk in broad daylight doing his job, and he's pushing paper and maybe doing white-collar crimes like, forgery and identity theft, possibly some sort of embezzlement, that type of energy. And so, this card is definitely a walking contradiction. People might be like looking at him and saying, oh, Joe is the best guy ever. He comes in early, he leaves late. When he comes back from lunch, he's ready to go. It's that kind of energy. But in the meantime, how can you tell whether he's doing his job or not, right? And he might be coming in early and late for a good reason. So the energy here is, the most disturbing thing to me about this energy is that he is holding these swords like in his hands like this. And I've never seen anyone hold swords like this but him. And it's kind of like, what is he thinking? Like if he were to trip, these are so sharp, he could literally fall and lose his hands, and it's so dangerous, yet, there he is. And if he's this careless with his own energy, how careful do you think he is going to be with yours? So this is kind of a, enigma. And so this is this is in your internal forces. So there's something that maybe you're not seeing about, your domestic, your personal life. We do have a full moon last night, and on the same day, Mercury went retrograde. So the full moon is in Capricorn, but the opposing sign is Cancer, and Cancer is talking about your domestic and, your personal goals, and your Capricorn energy is talking about your career, reputation, those types of goals. So this energy, if it's balanced, the more balanced that is, the better off you're going to be and the better your result. So there could be some sort of energy here between that. We'll keep an eye on this energy and see what's going on. In the way you see yourself right now, the King of Pentacles is someone who's highly respected. They are in the business of money a lot of the time. In the banking industry. So that they represent the element of earth and earthly matters. So this is about your health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. Of course, money is a huge part of that. So it is represented by the coin. And this coin, the energy is talking about the King of Pentacles. He has all these grapes on his robe. And the grapes in tarot represent something that's difficult to grow. That's a luxury item. So this is about having a luxurious lifestyle. Now, you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. So it's much more than just about making money. But people in that when this comes up quite often tend to be in the banking industry, in the end of maybe if they work for a bank, they would be at least a manager or someone higher up. This could represent wealth management. It could represent financial advisors, insurance salesmen, retirement planning, trustees, those kinds of accountants. And this generally would be someone that would be in an established firm, and they might be a partner in that firm. Also, this energy is talking about sometimes real estate being matters of the earth. And this would be, if it's a real estate agent, someone well established in commercial or residential properties, but probably they would be someone that is dealing with bigger end properties. This would also represent maybe mortgage brokers. It could be land developers, you know, that and all of that kind of energy as well. It could be someone in the stock market. Could be about minerals. It could be gold, silver, oil, that type of you know, diamonds, platinum, all the different things that we take out of the earth. And what else? This could be an entrepreneur that's very successful in business. This is someone that people respect for their business acumen. And so that's basically how you see yourself. This could be, you know, this is someone, this is in your self-image. And so this is how you're feeling about yourself. And this is talking about your abundance. Now, this is kind of weird because this is saying you're here and then all of a sudden this cycle ends. So I'm not quite like, if it's about this reconciliation and this sneaky energy, maybe that is coming to an end, or is it this energy coming to an end? Hopefully not this energy coming to an end. Hopefully you're not Joe. But I'm just saying, like, I think that there's some sort of energy here. This could be talking about the energy we have here could be talking about you know, that energy coming to an end here. So we'll see. When the 21 card comes up, it's talking about, you know, the Fool has gone on his journey. He started at the 0 point. He's learned everything he can possibly learn in this, you know, on this cycle, and it's time to start a new one. So this is talking about having achieved something and, you know, you've pretty much run this cycle out and it's time to start a new one. But look at this energy here. I'm wondering what is going on here, because now we have the Four of Pentacles. There's a big difference between this energy and this energy. So I don't know if this is maybe this is somebody from your past that has been hiding money, or like is in business with you, in partnership with you some way, or were. And that cycle is now over, and maybe you're finding out some truth about it, because we do have a truth here, because now we only have Four of Pentacles here, and this is a new cycle. So what was going on here? The Four of Pentacles energy is representing having a strong foundation for making money, but and this card is the Pentacle energy, but it's talking about the 3 levels of making money, and so this is safe money. You know, that you have you have enough to pay your bills and that, but that's about where you're at. This is your heart's desires, and then this is your crown and glory. And this person has their back to the city, saying that they may have been sold short, or they've sold themselves short, or other people have sold them short. This is sometimes talking about leaving your comfort zone. Sometimes it's talking about leaving the city you're from, because it's hard to be a hero in your own small, you know, in your own hometown. And sometimes this is saying that, like, to get from one level to the next level, you need to take some risks. If you're taking risks in financial matters, you want to make sure that you consult. If it's a big move, make sure that you do your research and consulting. And especially in Mercury retrograde, you want to be really careful with that energy. But this is saying from when you were younger. So when you were younger, this could have been, you might have been in a position where you didn't come from a family that had a lot of coin. They didn't have a real luxurious lifestyle. A humble beginnings is what the words that I'm using. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just, this is your communication from when you were younger, but that may have affected your communication regarding you know, the money making energy, because this is because this is talking about sometimes not taking, you know, not seeing the opportunities, but not being willing to take small risks that would allow you to move into the next step. So you might have been taught to be very, very careful with your money, and maybe had to be very, very careful with your money. I'm getting this could have even been like a single parent upbringing, or you might be a single parent that you know, it was in this energy. That's not uncommon. And then we have temperance here. So this is earth angel energy. In the Bible, it says that God sends down 144,000 angels that make the world a better place. And this is about adding their own alchemy to the universal pool of water, and then pouring, and then grounding that energy on earth. And look, where her foot touches the earth here, there's beautiful flowers growing already. And there's the path of glory there with the sun in the background. And we have her doing all this beautiful alchemy, moving forward in this energy. The temperance is an energy of, making sure that the Bible talks about, the different types of character. And the one that's frowned upon the most is someone who loses their temper easily, and then ends up, doing damage that is like my grandma used to always say that, my grandma Anna, my Ukrainian Baba, she would say, if you be careful with your words, because once you say them, you can't unsay them. Once they're said, they're said. There's never any going back. The person will not forget. And I think she was very right about that. And so but this energy here is about keeping your cool. Remember, like with the full moon energy, like coming in last night, is going to be with us pretty intensely for the next few days. And the thing is that this energy on top of Mercury retrograde, communication could be a little off. So, Mercury doesn't go direct again until July 23rd. Mercury retrograde, it just like, yesterday I got an email, oh, your website is like having troubles. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, whatever, I'm going to see if they can fix it. I'm not even going to phone. I'm not doing anything. And then an hour later, they got it all resolved. And I was like, it's just Mercury retrograde. I don't feel like dealing with it. And so that's the kind of energy. I will make sure, but like I was just like, not today. I just wasn't in the mood. And so sometimes that's the kind of energy of Mercury retrograde, when things just, it's up and running, and I checked it, everything's running perfectly. So I just had it worked on like a month ago, so to make sure that it was secure and everything was hunky-dory. So that's the kind of stuff that happens when you have when Mercury, it's quite often technology just has glitches in it, and just things like that. But it's a great time to do your research if you want to start something new, and to just chill out a little bit, especially this Mercury retrograde right now. I'm thinking, hey, how perfect. If you want to take a holiday, why not now? Like, well, a lot of people are on holidays in the summer. And if you try to do business in the summer months when the people are on holiday, you phone, and there's like, half the people aren't there. That's when people take their holidays, whoever can does. Quite often, they want to be with their families, the kids are out of school, so it's hard to do business anyway, really. So you may as well just kind of make plans and chill out a little and allow yourself to daydream a little. I think that Mercury retrograde is really good for that. And if you have like something that maybe has happened in your childhood and you haven't addressed it yet, maybe now would be a good time to do that, because the card is coming up. We have the truth coming in creativity, romance, and children. So the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That could be someone close to you in your life is not telling you 100% the truth, or maybe you don't know the 100% know the truth about your childhood, and there's been illusions around it. Quite often this card can represent that energy. But this is a gift from the divine and the universe collaborating to bring the truth in for you, so that you will be able to have a good understanding of what's really going on and move forward in a strong way. There's a promise right here of 10 cups. 10 cups in the tarot is talking about like ultimate fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. It's, you have your companion, the person you love, and the children, and they love you and you love them, and you have neighbors that you love, and you have, your career and your peers and your clients and everybody, everything's lovely. And so as much as it can be in a perfectly imperfect world. And this is a promise sometimes coming in after hardship. Having said, because there's the rainbow after the storm. So if you have been going through a little bit of something here, recognize that, you know, this is saying like keep moving forward, doing your best to be the best person you can be. And, you know, things have a way of working out. I'm going to check now for the external forces. You know, you can tell if it's an internal force because quite often the questions you'll be asking are like, what if? What if they do that and I have to do this? Or what if they don't do that and then I have to do this? And that is kind of, you know, the internal forces. So, you know, it's the woulda, shoulda, couldas of life, and that can keep you in a real loop. And kind of keep you from moving forward. And then sometimes the question is what the EF happened, and that would be an external force. So the underlying energy for the external forces is actually a bunch of cups coming in with opportunities. The thing is about the Seven of Cups, it's a kind of a different energy because it's saying that like each of these cups has a different gift in them. It's kind of a weird energy in some ways. Like sometimes this could be like overwhelming energy because it's spoiled for choice. There's so many choices, you don't know which one to choose, that kind of energy. You know, and a lot of these opportunities, they're coming in from the universe. You're like a black hole. You're just like sucking it all in, all these opportunities. But like a black hole, you're the center of your universe. So you're going to have to put your own spin on each of these cups. I mean, we have a snake and we have a mushroom and we have beauty and a laurel and a castle here, and we have flowers. I got to look up what that is. It almost looks like a shark. So it could be saying that, you know, these cups are possibilities, but they're wrapped in challenges. The universe wants you to put your own energy into them and, you know, choose which ones you want first and, you know, put your own spin on it so that it has your own unique stamp on it. And we also have, yeah, this is not a great way to be if you want to, I could see it would make this really challenging. Should I take this one or that one? There's 7 of them. So you could be doing that, this one or that one or this one or, you know, spoiled for choice. And sometimes this is just, this card is indicating a closed mind. Sometimes it can be indicating that someone, you just don't want to see something, or you can't see it. There's only 2 options, this or that. And quite often this can lead to like my way or the highway. It's only one way or the other. And there's never only 2 ways to do anything. You know, if you use the swords, they represent that energy of, you know, your thoughts, right? So they're double-edged swords. They represent your mental intellect, your logic, and they also represent your intuition. If you use the 2 together, you're way more likely to have a creative solution than if you just use one or the other. And this is talking about, you know, she's tired. There's an energy here. Her feet are turned out. And this is representing leaking masculine and feminine energy from the base chakra. And that's about survival in that. So she's protecting her heart as well. And her right arm is holding her left arm back. And so in body language, that's just like her logical side is holding her intuitive side back, saying, no, it has to be logical. And her intuition, if she uses both, she would, you know, if she could ask the question logically and then get a bunch of logical answers, maybe she gets 10 and she doesn't know like how many, which is the best one. It's this energy again. Use your intuition. Okay, that's the one. They're all solid answers. Which is the best one for me at this time? And if you use your intuition for that and then apply that solution logically, you may find that you get a really good result. And so a lot better than sitting here with a blindfold on. And sometimes this energy can also be saying, because you have eyes, you cannot see. That's a saying you may have heard, and it sounds funny, but basically what this is saying, realistically, we only, human beings can only see a small bandwidth of what really is in the spectrum of light. And, you know, so even when we think we're seeing everything, we're not seeing everything that's there. And, you know, my cat, like, for instance, like, when I'm doing readings, she'll hang around, and she sometimes is flying around here, chasing after, I don't know what. She can see it, I can't. Cats have much better vision than human beings, especially at night. So this energy, you know, it can talk about that, and it's saying you need to use your third eye, your intuition, as well as your logic to be able to have creative solutions. And then we have like the new moon in the background. So this is talking again about the moon energy from last night coming through. Use your intuition, your insight, as well as your logic to get a better result. And this is in commitments, partnerships, and marriage. So it's interesting, like, why is it there? Maybe you need to use your intuition about that type of energy, whether we'll just keep going, because who knows? But now we have a transition here, that there's an opportunity for this fulfillment to be, maybe you're missing, you know, having someone in your life, and maybe, you know, other relationships just have not worked out. Maybe someone from your past is coming towards you. If this is someone that you've already had a relationship with, be careful with that energy, just because this is talking about a new foundation. Like, it's talking about a new energy coming in. And quite often, it's not uncommon for people from our past to come in because we want closure, or they want closure, or whatever. But it's not necessarily, depends on your situation. People tend to show you who they are the first time around. Just remember that and do what you feel is best for you. This energy can be talking about, like, you know, this energy, the beginning of this energy coming through. You know, we don't have the children yet, do we? Oh yeah, we do. So this is talking about having that, you know, this basically would be that you have the down payment for the castle, but you still have the mortgage payments. You know, you have popped the question, you're saying yes, and the next thing you know, you're going to have a family, and saying you need to pour your energy into the relationship. A lot of people pour more energy into the wedding than they do into the actual marriage. So this is the kind of the official marriage card, but sometimes it just means that you're going to have a much stronger foundation than you did here. You know, that this energy is coming in when some sort of truth comes out. So I don't know if yeah, it's interesting, like, why this is here and then this is here. I still don't quite see what it is, but we're going to keep going. This is a transition again. This is in your position of transition. So I feel that, you know, this is coming towards you, and this is talking about this new cycle coming in, where you go from this and you start to really apply your unique qualities. And there's some truth that comes out, and then, you know, after having hardship, it's here. Now, maybe this energy was a past lover, or maybe an ex-husband or something. Maybe this energy represents an ex-partner that you split up with, and maybe that, boom, now we're moving forward here. The self-image might be that you're no longer with this person. It could have something to do with that. I've just never really had the world card come back that I can remember, like, in such a different, you know, energy here. And then we have the Chariot. So the Chariot is talking about, this is already some sort of judgment has been called in the spiritual realm. And this is already on the way down to earth. It's in motion. We have, like, when you're on the Chariot, it's like, woohoo, I'm on, get out of my way, I'm on my path, I'm coming through. And it's very different from this energy here, where you're leaving, where you're thinking about leaving. Here you're out of there. And you notice here, there's no reins, there's no need for them. The Chariot knows where it's taking you, because this is your destined path. And it's like you're leaving your comfort zone and the city behind, the same as here, but you're not doing it on your own. You're doing it on God's plan. And like, you can just, like, you don't need any reins. They know where they're going. And sometimes this can represent And there's a few cards here that represent kind of an energy of cord energy, but I'm going to complete the reading first, and then I'll bring that up, because I'm still not understanding what happens here that causes going from this to this. And so this is in your transition. This is your higher learning. And then we have the Knight of Wands. So this is passion coming in. The wands in tarot represent fire, and the element of fire, and the wands are made of wood because wood fuels fire. This is about taking passionate action. The rebel with a cause is like full of adventure and love of life, and the pyramids in the background show he wants to explore the world. And this is the Sagittarius energy. It's like, woohoo, I want to explore the world. It's that type of energy. It's also talking about the fiery horse energy, which on February 17th, we moved into that in the Chinese New Year. From the year of the snake, we moved into the year of the fiery horse. Very, very similar energy. This plume on the back of his head is representing, as someone who is fiery and maybe has a bit of a temper and impulsive, but he's learned to rein it in and rein in his emotions, discipline his mind. The horse is heartfelt energy with a lot of passion. So very similar to the fiery horse energy. The fiery horse energy will be with us until February 6th of 2027. And it's just a reminder. I haven't seen that much like at that, around February, this card was coming out a lot. A lot of horses were. And now it's more, it's coming out again. So I feel like it's a reminder. Remember, don't be impulsive. It's not a great idea in the fiery horse year to take impulsive actions. Big ones, And it's also control your temper. And if you make plans, this energy makes us want to make like really high goals, like achieve high goals, which is really good. But you have to, at the same time, remember to give yourself, a reasonable amount of time to get things completed in the physical world, and to, be patient in that way. Have that temperance, because you don't want to burn yourself out and then not make it to the finishing line. And that's the warning with the fiery horse energy. This is career reputation. So, that's what the full moon last night, and for the next few days, we're really going to be feeling that. It's about your career, your reputation, being fired up, ready to go, but disciplined in taking your action. So this also with, the energy that we have here, with, the possibility of a better foundation in your domestic life as well. There could be love coming in, passion coming in as well, after being left out in the cold. So the Five of Pentacles energy is being left out in the cold, feeling left out in the cold, not feeling like you're part of society. And this is in blessings. So this could be the people, this is the energy that I'm wondering about right here. What happened to take you from this down to this? What's the truth that's coming out? This quite often can be tactics. So this can talk about tactics being used to put you in a situation where you feel left out in the cold. This person is on crutches, and he is wearing this big bell around his neck. That bell represents like the plague bell. In the old days, they didn't have apps to isolate people and keep them out of society and cause them not to be able to work. This is, they would tie a big bell around their neck, and they would be really loud. So when they came into town, everybody could get the heck out of their way, which as you can imagine, made it hard to socialize or to have have any work or anything like that. And this person's actually barefoot in the snow. So this is talking about the Five of Pentacles with this energy. It's talking about having sometimes like half of what you had before. Now, if you were in a situation where, you separated or whatever, this could be talking about, dividing assets or something. So it could be something to do with that. Sometimes this card is saying that rejection is God's protection. Maybe the truth needs to come out so that you can come out of this protection. Sometimes if you feel isolated right now, sometimes that isolation is God's protection, basically, to keep you away from people that plan to harm you, or that have been involved in this energy, so that the karma can hit. Like, basically, the justice can come in, the judgment can come in, because if you're still around them, then you're going to get hit with, like through association. So, I was wondering, yeah, because look this is the energy we're moving out of. So this is unpleasant energy. This is 10 wands, or 10 swords, and it's talking about being stabbed in the back. And this energy is also talking about, this could be a blessing in disguise. This cycle is coming to an end. But so that makes this make sense here, what's going on here. So there's been some, like this is crappy energy, really. Basically, it means you've been stabbed in the back at least 10 times. And this card was coming out a lot at the beginning of the year, and 2026 is 10 year or 1 year. And so it's talking about an old cycle ending and a new beginning coming in. And I feel like that maybe that's why this energy, because this is the first sign, it could be saying at the beginning of the year, maybe it could be saying in the year of the fiery horse energy, February 17th is when this energy is starting to change, but you're maybe not seeing it as of yet. There's light at the end of the tunnel. This is saying, though, that there could be one person that has stabbed you in the back 10 times. And the reason it was coming in, I feel like at the beginning of the year, this card and the 9 of Swords were coming in like almost every reading. It was like, what a way to start the new year. But what it was talking about is, that we weren't really ending just a year. When we moved from 2025, that was a 9 years. So we were ending like a decade of energy and moving into a new decade of energy. So this has been going on for at least a decade. I feel that's what it's saying. That's why this energy is coming back in, I feel. So you could think back what was going on in your life 10 years ago at the beginning of the year and now. And it might give you an idea of what's going on. And this could be one person 10 times. This could be 10 different people, or even it could be 10 groups of people. But the hand is in the form of of a blessing, like the Hierophant. So it is talking about any hidden illusions, any of this energy. It's going to come to light. And we do have a few cards here that talk about court, just because of, when you're in court, you say, I'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You have this thievery energy, which could be white-collar crime. And I don't want to say it, but sometimes it could be that someone that was an authority figure was involved in that kind of energy. This is talking about the promise, once the truth comes out, of you having a much better life, and not having to be in this energy of always this or that, keeping a tight grip on what's going on in your life. This is talking about and maybe starting to not feel so open-minded. And this is talking about, it's not necessarily a new lover coming in or that type of energy. This could just be talking about, I feel like with this card here, it's talking about this foundation is a much stronger foundation now. Like now we're talking about moving into this energy. This is already happening. Now sometimes in the 3D, this means the police are coming in, arrests are being made, indictments, there was an investigation, and whatever this was going on, it's the truth is coming out about it. This is happening a lot in a lot of the readings. And it's really interesting because the energy can go much further back than just like a decade ago. It can go way back. Even this energy with tactics and all of this, the Uranus moved into the sign of Gemini about a month and a half ago, I think it is now. And Uranus hasn't been in Gemini since 1941 to 1949 during World War II and the aftermath. And so the bottom line, though, is the Gemini and like the Uranus in Gemini wants the truth to come out. And so we're seeing that, like, and it's kind of weird energy. Like, it's the truth is coming out in weird truths in weird ways about things that happened a long time ago in a lot of the instances. Things like where people thought they had, you know, it had been done. And like, I mean, 1941 to 1949 was like, you know, 75 years ago, right? So this energy could go way back to something that happened with your ancestors, but there's something here where the truth wants to come out, and there is indication of this kind of energy coming out in the physical, as like maybe you might be aware of this. There might be you might be in a some sort of legal action or whatever. If that's the case, it's saying that it could be working, it's starting to work, like it's coming through in your favor. As long as you're on the right side of the law, this is going to be, this energy is going to be coming in, and that's spiritual and physical. I'm going to clarify it just so that for those of you who want clarification, if you're leaving the reading here, thank you so much for your time and energy. Your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I really do appreciate them all. It's helping me to build my channel. And I'm going to clarify with my oracle now. From the underlying energy, we have these two cards. Now the numbers on these cards represent the paintings in my gallery. The oracle is Tales from the Vector, and it's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. The numbers on these cards represent the energy of, or the numbers of the paintings as they are in my gallery on my website. And I will put them in the description box below in the order they appear here, so you know what, if you feel like looking at them, you can look them up. So we have the Chariot, and the Chariot is talking about, again, we already said this is the Chariot. So this is, so see, it's talking about something coming in from the past. So this could be someone you know from the past. This could, there's something that's going to come in from the past that the truth is coming out about. We have worldly and otherworldly desires. So this is a karmic space we can fall into. It's, saying give yourself total permission to go after your authentic desires, but make sure they're yours. You don't want to be going after someone else's authentic desires and their path. It's weird energy, but a lot of people are like that. Like they look at other people and they say, oh, they don't just say, I want to learn from them or I want to be like them. They say, I want to be them. And then and you're thinking, ha ha ha, but they actually mean it. And so that can be problemsome, especially if it's sitting in this energy and they're pretending to be you. What are they doing with your name? Degrading it. So this is, taking like that could be something that happened here, is that you maybe are a victim of this, even if you are in the financial industry and you normally would be someone that looks after that kind of thing. Maybe some employee of yours or something was doing something and it's caused problems for you. That could be a reason why this is happening. The Leo energy is talking about, Leo is natural born leaders. They're very charismatic. And, but when they aren't confident, they kind of fill it in with arrogance sometimes. It takes Leos, the fire signs have a tendency, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius have a tendency to be a little bit immature compared to other signs. It takes them longer to grow into themselves. So this is saying you're a natural born leader. And this is when maybe you're stepping into your leadership role here. This is going to be eventually, it's saying an energetic upgrade. You're better off knowing the truth, basically, even if it feels like you're starting from a lower position. I feel like you needed to know whatever this was. Something was degrading your energy. It's almost like this old energy when we come into this reading. You need to know this, and then we start the real reading for what's going on now. And then it talks about, okay, this is what you have the opportunity of coming in now, and this is what you're letting go of. That's what I feel. Dissemination is, it's another tactic that's used where people have a tendency to scramble or use words in a certain way so that other people maybe don't get the gist of the meaning. But I think in this, it's also talking about Mercury in retrograde. Watch your words, because as my grandma Anna said, you can't take them back. And like this energy is like there's an elephant in the room, but nobody wants to see it kind of energy. So they just kind of skirt around it, that type of energy. We have, superstar, the truth coming out. This is having harmony in your life once the truth is spoken. Destruction, this is another tactic that could be used here. So we have two, dissemination and destruction, to put you in that. So this is, it's good for whoever is shuffling papers behind the desk, but not so good for your reputation, especially if you're in this industry and they work for you. It's not very good. Or in some sort of industry where there's a real huge trust margin there, people, it's something that it's serious, it's like people's lives you're dealing with. And then we have surrender here. And this is saying surrender to your intuition and your insight. The underlying energy for the reading is for the external forces is the Emperor energy, which is making me wonder if there isn't someone maybe that this Emperor energy is someone that has, it's talking about external forces. And I don't know if it's talking about, it feels like it's talking about this energy here, someone that was in power, abusing it, I feel, and degrading your energy in some way. We have ego, which is another karmic space. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's weird, but we have that moon with domestic and career and reputation. So it's almost like someone wasn't satisfied unless every area of your life was totally degraded. You know what I mean? Everything you are doing. And then we have denial, which is what I don't know won't hurt me. So if you were in that energy, a lot of people get in that energy when it involves people that are in there, that they're close to, and they don't want to see something. And then we have Pisces. So I feel that the Pisces energy is talking about, this is the senior executive of the horoscope. And I feel this is talking about Neptune energy. And this is talking about new adventure in that. It's about being able to see things differently and do things differently and maybe tweak things a little bit. When Pisces, about maybe 2 months ago now, moved into the sign of Aries, or it's not Pisces, I'm sorry, Neptune moved out of Pisces into Aries. And Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years. And it's basically very comfortable there. And for 14 years, we learned how to do things, set up systems. This is how we'll do it. And this energy is coming up for a lot of people right now, because it's like, you have your systems in place, and if I do this, you've perfected it and it works. But Neptune is kind of that kind of energy, and it's talking about something new coming in and new systems coming in, and now you have to learn how to do it all differently again. And Pisces is the last sign, senior executive, water sign, and Aries is baby sign, the newborn baby, the very first sign coming in to the horoscope. And it's fire, and it's like a baby crying because nobody knows what to do to satisfy it. That's basically how I feel this energy feels. Just when you figured it out exactly, if I do it this way, it always works, Now Neptune is saying, oh, forget all that. We're going to learn how to do it in a different way now. And it's like when your phone upgrades and now you have to figure out how to use it again, and you're busy and it's the last thing you needed. It's that type of energy. So I feel like, when the horoscope signs come in, I just want to point out, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the quality of the signs. In your own reading, that it could be true that, yes, there's a Pisces and a Leo involved. Use your intuition, but it's not my intention. And then we have Virgo energy, that's saying Mercury. So this card has been coming in a lot, and I really do feel that this card is coming in because of Mercury going retrograde. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And so I just feel, Virgo energy is really good at analytical critique. So this, it's saying like you could really use that energy to figure out, hey, new systems and ways of doing something. I do feel definitely like the clarity that I've received here is that the new like what's happening now, or once this truth comes out, that's this energy here, and this is still leftover energy from here. It's kind of explaining how you ended up here from here, and how now you're back into a much better groove. All right, I do hope this was of use for you, Sagittarius. Thank you for your time and energy. And again, for likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I really appreciate them. I'm honored when you subscribe. I'll be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now.